Hello Leo, this is Victoria and I'm here with your December tarot forecast. As always, we'll be looking at your love life and personal space, at your career and workspace, and then we'll get you guidance from the universe on how to best navigate the energies of the month of December. At the end, I'll post some messages from your person of interest to yourself, so make sure you stick around for that. And we will begin with a quick message from the Angels and Ancestors deck today. So let's see what does Leo need to know for the months in December. Excuse me. If you're new, please check out the description box for information on my content and services. The easiest way to ask me questions and to figure out what kind of reading suits you most, what kind of questions you are best to ask, or find out more about the coaching services that I do, how I can help in your situation. Book a session in Calendly with me, and then we'll see. So there is a Calendly link in the description box. That's what I mean. My website is not active at the moment. I'm making some changes. I don't know when and how I'm gonna relaunch it, but Calendly link is active, and also the playlist to my podcast definitely is something to check out. All right, these readings are for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So if you're checking for your sun sign, please check out also the videos for other placements. And with all that said, you get a message from the Hermit today, Leo. Retreat and recharge. Yeah, so what I'm hearing was this immediately, that, you know, this has been a long year. There was so much going on, and you know, you stepped up, you had to really go outside of your comfort zone for like more than once, you know, over and over again. And so this is now a time to relax and almost like reap the fruits of your labor, right? And they were significant because it took a lot of courage, it took a lot of strength to get to where you are, to be able to achieve those things, or even to complete those adventures that you went on. So right now it's time to rejuvenate, recuperate. If you're into spa, do the spa day or something, or a week, why not? Right? Go on a trip where you can indulge yourself. You earned it, but more importantly, when I say indulge yourself, I don't mean partying all night. It's really more about, first of all, appreciating yourself and what you're doing. Even if you feel like others do and that's good enough, it's very important that it comes from you. And then of course the reflection part is, what was it all about? What do you think these experiences have taught you? How do you feel about them? Maybe you can list them, the highlights, and see, you know, what kind of story does this year tell you. Okay, let's move on to tarot. What does Leo need to know for the months of December? All right, I lost a couple of cards and we'll definitely take them. If you're questioning if this is a real cat, yes it is. His name is Ace, and he still cannot decide if he wants to sleep or not. So, first card out of the deck for this spread is the Emperor. This is Aries energy. So, for your personal space and love life, you have the Emperor. You have Two of Swords in reverse. I usually don't take reversals, but that's how I found this card, so I'm gonna take it in. And the Magician. This is Gemini energy. For your career space, you have Page of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, and King of Pentacles. And the advice, Justice, King of Swords, and Page of Wands. Justice is Libra energy, by the way. Bottom of the deck is Four of Swords. That's that Hermit energy. not quiet, but for swords it's about rejuvenation, rest, and the spa and the self-care that I was just talking about. So definitely, I also love that this is the new moon. We will have new moon in Sagittarius coming in pretty soon, and this will be perfect. You should be rested for this new moon to really set yourself for success and to manifest something exciting, something big and beautiful for 2026. Okay, so for personal space, you have the Emperor, Two of Swords, and the Magician. So Two of Swords in reverse, let's talk about that for a moment, especially since it's in the middle. The Two of Swords is usually about inability to make a decision between your head space, heart space. You can't really decide, you can't reconcile. Here it's also a bird feeder, right? To me, it immediately speaks of a person trying to please someone at their own expense. But this is in reverse now. So it's like at this point, you're really, especially with these cards, the Emperor, the Magician, they're very strong personalities. It's about me, it's what I'm capable of, it's about what I want, what I need, right? Both of those energies are very much about focus on self, which is also hermit mode to a degree if you think about it. So right now your task is to stop worrying about what's going to happen with other people. If you don't, I don't know, take them to the doctor, if you don't make their dinners, if you don't remind them to run some errands, if you aren't the first one to wish them happy birthday or whatever else it is, they are gonna be just fine. This is the time to build upon your dreams, and what you see for yourself in life, what makes you happy. Not think of like, you might not necessarily be thinking that you want to please other people, but it's like that feeling of obligation that I want them to be happy and that's my responsibility to make them happy. But newsflash, it's not your responsibility to make anyone happy, honestly. Even if you're thinking about your partner right now, it's like, not really. We're responsible for ourselves. And yes, hopefully when it comes to our partner, our closest friends, our family, immediate family, we have that level of intimacy where we truly bring value and joy to each other, in that relationship and that dynamic. But we're in no way responsible for the other person to be happy. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't do anything to help with that. But at the end of the day, you cannot feel like this is something that you have to do. For your career space, you have Page of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, and King of Pentacles. Again, focusing on ambition. What is it that you want to build? Even if it feels like it's like 1,000 years from now, 100 miles from now, from today, from this moment where you are with your business, right? Maybe right now you're a Page of Pentacles, because these pictures don't necessarily look the way we would see the scorecards, right? But if we're talking about it, like you can see the progression from Page of Pentacles, which is like a kid or someone with not a lot of money, but a lot of like dream or plan or strategy even, but just getting started out there. And the King of Pentacles, someone who's already successful, who has reached the tops, the goals, has made a name for themselves. In the middle of it, if you notice, there is a Seven of Wands that of course talks about understanding, first of all, your boundaries, and also understanding who you are, what you stand for, so you can express them fully, so you don't let people put you in a box, right? But you decide where those boundaries are and how you want to paint this business of yours, this career of yours. What is the timeline? You're deciding for yourself. Don't let others do it. Even if it's a boss and you're shrugging your shoulders right now and saying, well, I can't really say anything to them, can I? There are other ways. You don't have to, argue with your boss or do something reckless and lose your job. There are other ways, more subtle ways, more indirect ways, how you can impact people and get to the place where you want to be, or at least get the message across that something that they're suggesting or asking you to do, it doesn't resonate with you and it's not in anyone's best interest. The advice: Justice, King of Swords, and Page of Wands. Another page, by the way, another king. These are different suits though. But I like the Justice here, that, you don't need to decide that I can be on the one thing, or I can only have a relationship with one person. I'm not even talking about polygamy here. Or being polyamorous, right? That's the word now. It's more about a scenario where you don't have to sacrifice your friendships if you're in a romantic relationship, right? You don't have to choose between my partner and my friends, right? You can have both. It's more about how do you position the situation? How do you talk to your person or whoever is involved, whoever needs that conversation, on why it makes sense or why it's important for you to have both, right? And I know it may sound ridiculous, like, why do I even have to explain that? But it never hurts in making your point, not just to say, I want this and I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna get it, but say, I want this, it's important for me because, and it changes the temperature in that conversation immediately. That is, if you're interested more in the results and not like just the process of that, having that argument. All right, messages for Leo. What does Leo need to know? What is the message for Leo from their person of interest? All right, something jumped out. The Strength, that's you, Leo. I love this. And to me, this is always also a match of, or a union or a connection of the masculine and the feminine. Clarified by the Star. This is so beautiful. Aquarian energy and Temperance. That's Sagittarius. All major arcanas. And this is, by the way, 7, 15, 17. 14, sorry. 14, 17. 7, 14, interesting, right? Like in the middle, and then 17. But more importantly, your person definitely sees you as a kind of unlikely but very fortunate couple to find each other, right? They see this as a kind of like a given, it's destined, it's meant to be, and you have been given to each other by the universe, have been assigned to be in each other's life, to be soulmates. And soulmates, I mean, not necessarily in an overly romanticized way, but in a way where you have some kind of a soul contract with each other that is playing out right now. And the way your person perceives it, especially because there's definitely a divine intervention here with all these major arcanas, the way they see it, it's like, they get starstruck when they're around you. They are dreaming about you when they're asleep and when they are awake. And for them, this is definitely something, this connection helps them self-regulate and helps them see the bigger picture and balance their energy. And it's not, especially between masculine and feminine, and it's not even that what was I gonna say? Lost it. It's okay. Right. So they definitely see this as something very important. Like, there's definitely a big clue about their life, or maybe the point of their life is in this connection to be a partner. Like, that's the main mission and purpose that they have. Like, all these kind of ideas are going through their mind, something that they're living with, that they're working on. It's still work in progress, but like I said, like the main takeaway from this part is that they definitely see the both of you as quite different people, but somebody who is a great match for each other, very complementary power, like a yin yang, right? That first of all, there is a little bit of yin and yang and the other way around, if you look at it, right? But also ultimately they are the opposite energies. They still manage to coexist harmoniously. Okay, I hope this was useful for you, Leo. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. And until next time.